Good morning friends, another project on the bench. This belongs to a friend of mine. Well, more than a friend. I'm actually in a band with him. He's a bassist in the band, but he also does, he's known on the folk circuit. He does acoustic solo folky stuff, really good stuff, about stuff that really matters to him, about his hometown and stuff like that. And really cool guy. His name's Cookie, and he's bassist in the band I'm in, Solvent Abuse. But I've got his acoustic guitar in, and the action on here is as high as a kite. Don't know how I can play with that, so I'm going to see if I can do anything about it. Probably not a lot, to be honest with you, because it's an old guitar and the belly's sunken in quite a bit. So I don't think I can do a great deal, but what I can do is I can make it play better. So what I'm going to do is now it's got a strap on it which I can't get off because it's tied under the strings, so I can't get the strap off till the strings are off, which I'm going to do. And then I'll try and undo the knots and he can retie himself how he wants it at a later date. Let's have a look here. Well, I might want to do it this way. Anyway, whatever, I'll sort that out in a minute. Yeah, the action's really quite high. I don't know if it plays up this end. I wouldn't want to. The strings are very high over the note. We can certainly get them lower. Nice sounding thing, but yeah, the action really is quite high. Let's see what sort of height we've got on that. We are, I can do it with that one, but crikey me, it's like 4 mil, way too high. I don't know if I can get it any lower. It's certainly over 3.5 millimeters. It's nearly 4 millimeters, and I cannot really lower it because the bridge is as low as it will go, or the saddle. What I could do is I could probably give it a turn on a truss rod, straighten the neck a little bit, and we'll have a look at some frets, see if the frets are level or not. So let me get the strings off, and we'll have a look, and we'll take it from there. But I don't think I can do a lot about that. It's an old guitar. It's been stored obviously with said strings on it. These strings are way too fat for my liking. I always go with light strings on an acoustic guitar, but then again my acoustic guitar was nearly 4 grand. 3 grand, sorry. And I put light strings on mine because I want it to last. But anyway, get the strings off. We'll come and have a closer look in a little while. It's the guitar, by the way, is a Takamine. Does it say the model number? ESG-45SC. A Cayman Music Products. Cayman used to own Hamer guitars years ago. Very nicely made thing. Made in Taiwan. There you go. And as long as it's playing alright and he can make do with it, it's fine. But I would like to get that action a little bit lower. So let's see where we are in a few minutes. So there is not a great deal I can do about the action because it's the way the neck is set. I've checked the truss rod, I've just loosened it a little bit. It's a 5 mil adjuster on the truss rod on these. Thought it would be 4 mil, but it's not, it's 5. I'm just going to move the strap from under the guitar, makes it more difficult to work on. Anyway, it's underneath, but there you go. So I'm just going to check that the frets are level, or see if they're level or not. Quite slim, small frets on here. Quite a bit of fret wear down this end. I would say to Cookie, no point replacing anything here or even getting a refret. I would just say play the guitar until it's no longer playable. That one's high. One high fret there. Quite a bit of wear on these frets down this end. Just playing alright, leave it. I would say with guitar as old as this, and with the action that I can't do anything about. What's a neck reset? Why would you spend all that money on a neck reset on something like this that's got such a high action anyway? You might as well just play it till it's dead and replace it down the line. So let me get a marker pen and we'll mark up these high frets. I've got 11 high frets. With one down here. So just a little bit high, not major, but let's get them all level. That one there, there was one a little bit up here, weren't they? But for the main part, most of the frets are fine. 11. And we'll give them a smack with a mallet before we go removing any material. It's not surprising there are a couple of high spots on the frets, but we'll get rid of them. So the high action normally means a neck reset, but surprised this is not giving it any jip. Well, it's not going to do when the strings are that high, but these do need a little bit of filing. But for the main part, frets are pretty level along the whole length of the neck, which is pretty good. So we've got a little bit here. Don't worry about this last one being high, because it's the second to last one, it's not going to affect anything. It doesn't matter about this one being high, as long as it's not too high with that one. So we're just going to check where it is here. And that's fine there. That one's a little bit, this one's a little bit high. There. And this one's a little bit, it was high all across, but that's going to make any difference because we're going to level these two anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 high frets, not major. I'm going to file them down, just bring them lower. I think also if we cut the nut slots a little bit, bring the strings a bit lower over that first fret, we'll be pretty much alright. But that's really it. So I'm just going to take a flat file. First we'll take a little mallet and we're just going to tap those frets down. I'm not going to hit them hard. I'm going to use a nylon side of a fretting hammer. Just tap it in because it may help them see better. Still high. Check the one in front, one at the back. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to take my Swiss made number 4 cut file. Super smooth but super sharp. Lovely file, I've loved this, I've had it for years. And I'm just going to scoot over the top of the fret. And you'll see where there's indentations are, like you can see little black marks there because there are indentations in the frets anyway. We're not going to be able to get those out, at no point. Still going to play okay. But let's just check that we're removing the height we need to remove. And we don't want to remove more. Seems pretty good. And that's good there. That's good there. So we removed material from the top, so we flattened the top slightly. We're going to just put that curve back in. And I'm just going to use a curved file, a Stumac. I'm just going to use a crowning file. This gubbins here. These are about 80 quid. But you get a lifetime warranty with Stumac stuff. So, and it's already got the groove cut in. It's a diamond file, so it cuts really smooth. Just make sure I'm using the right one. I'm going to use this one. And we're just going to rebuild that, put that arc back in the top of the fret. And there you go, we've got a nice round fret again. That's all good. We're going to do the same a bit further along, so we're going to check, again, we're going to check the fret again. You can hear that rock. So I'm just going to support the fret underneath. I'll move this across. In fact, we'll turn this around. Tell you what we'll do, we'll support it as much as we can, right where we're hitting the frets. Give it some good support underneath there. Again. And this one. So we've tapped them down. If they're still high, we're going to remove material. So let's see where we are. Still high there. Still high there. Still high there. Slightly high there. High there. We seem to have tapped that one down, so that one's okay. So we're just going to hit the ones that need material removing. Again, keeping the file steady with these 2 fingers so we don't cut into the fingerboard. And I'm just going to find the radius. The file will find the radius itself if you let it. So we'll remove material from the top. I'm just going to keep checking every few strokes. Like I say, that's nice there, but you don't want to be removing too much material because you're going to be replacing the fret. And I'm kind of experienced enough to know how much I need to remove. There we go, let's try again. And that's all good there. We've hit that one right, so this one just the far side. That's good, check one back, one forward, that's good. So moving the next one along. Make sure I'm using the flat side of my file, which I am. Quite a bit from the middle of this one. I don't even think Cookie comes this far up his neck. But, you know, a high fret is a high fret, so let's get them all level. Checking back with these. That's still high, this one. Sometimes it takes a while for them to settle, so we're just going to go back. Just in the middle area now. Or sometimes happens if you remove it from one fret, the next fret along is going to come low as well. So I'm just going to give that a little scoot. It's normal. And now we're level. These three are all level. So we're going to do exactly the same with this file. Give it a clean and wipe. Just make sure we're using the right side, and we are. So this refret's all looking fine now. All in good fettle. They are all level, so we've got all these frets level up here. Don't really need to touch these at the end because they're not going to affect a lot of anything, but a high fret is a high fret, and you know me. I'm going to turn the guitar around to do this side because I ain't going to get the file in as it is. So I'm just going to go here. And check. That's good, check this one. A little bit there, so check that one. That's all fine and dandy there. Still a little bit high there. So without resetting the neck, I can't really do anything about the action. I'd normally like to remove something from the saddle, but I can't because the saddle is that low. Can't go any lower than that, so there's nothing we can do about the high action other than get the neck unglued and reset it, and that's a long process and it's expensive. so we're not going to do that. Right, let me just hit this with the file again, get them recrowned. Get the file clean. This one white. Just need this side. So let's just check these 2 frets before we turn it round. And they are fine. So we've got the frets level, bar this side. I can't work this side. I'm going to have to turn 180 degrees like so. Same with the guitar. Move this flim flam out of the way. Move that out of the way. There you go. I've just got this small piece here. Now I couldn't do it from that side, but I can do it from this side. So again, we're just going to check. A little bit of a rock there, so we're just going to take that little bit off. Check the file. That's good. And again, with this file, just crown that over. And that really is that. I'm going to take the strap off the guitar completely because that's just getting in the way. Okay, so move these tools out of the way. So we've got the frets levelled, which is what we're after. So we can move on to the next part, which is I'm going to clean up the fingerboard because it has not been cleaned ever by the looks of it. I'm wondering if I should just bang that there like so. That's how we want it. Right, we're going to spray the fingerboard with some what you know is lemon oil. It's actually mineral oil with some lemon essence in there to make it smell nice. This stuff comes in spray form. Well, this one does. And we're just going to spray it on the fingerboard because we're going to, so I don't think this has ever been cleaned. And we're just going to douse the fingerboard in this. We're going to let it soak in. I'm going to scrape it off in a bit. But this is going to soak into the wood. Hopefully, if it soaks through the grime and shit that's on there, all your finger sweat and what have you, and grime is all built up over the years, and sometimes I have to scrape it off. All I can really do with this guitar is just give it as best a setup as I can. It's had, the strings have been too tight for too many years, and it's bent the neck up just a little, so the action down this end is really high, higher than it should be, but I can't do anything about it. Unless we reset the neck, I think you'd be better off just replacing the guitar in the future if it gets unplayable. But the guitar does sound nice. And we can lower the action at the nut, this end here, which I'm going to do. I'm also going to just spray the headstock just a little, get some oil on there. I'm going to use it as a cleaner. Tomorrow I've got a day, I'm not really going to be in the workshop that much. I've got 5 songs to learn for church. I've got a band practice tonight with Solvent Abuse. I rejoined the band that's got me interested in forming my own band. I used to go and watch them in the early 80s before I started Concrete Socks in 84. And they influenced me to basically pick up a guitar, learn to play and start my own band. Which I did. I formed Concrete Socks, and then Solvent Abuse, I bumped into Cookie last year and Shelley, the vocalist, and they texted me and says, look, we're going to reform a band, can you play guitar for us if we do? And I said yes, so we'll reform a band. So we've got 2 original members, Cookie and Shelley. Shelley vocalist, Cookie bassist. You've got Gav Lim from Steam Kittens and ex-Vermin drummer on drums, and me, ex-Sleaze Patrol and ex-Concrete Socks on guitar. So yeah, fun, good fun. Right, I'm going to let that on there 5-10 minutes, let it soak in, and I'm going to come back, we're going to get this frets polished up, clean the fingerboard, get a new set of strings on, and we'll recut this nut, and that'll really be it. So back soon, guys. So I'm just finishing off polishing these frets, and we've got a fingerboard guard here, a fretboard guard, which is a matter of that, and we get a steel wool. I've used far too much for this guitar, but it's just pinching it over the fret, and just give it a good fret, a good polish, I mean. Like so, just get the grime off it, and there you go. And I'm probably going to use this again anyway, between the frets, just to remove any crud and crap that's on there. I could give them a scrape, but I ain't going to do that. I'm going to use this piece of steel wool, and it's just going to get rid of any crud and sweat that's built up over the months, maybe even years. So yeah, you can see there, look. But this is good. It's going to be in lovely condition once we're done. This is what we call just that little bit of TLC. It's a shame I can't get the action lower. The action's really high at all for it. It needs a neck reset. It's an expensive job. I don't know about how much people charge for it. It's not something I can do. My friends do it. I think they charge 300 quid or whatever. There's no point. If you're just playing down this end here, this is a dusty end, just playing down this end, you're going to be okay. I'll cut the nut slots just so I can get the action lower at this end. It's as much as I can do. I'm not too interested in resetting a neck. Maybe it's something I'll do when I'm in Canada. I don't know. Depends what I'm called to do out there. It depends how short they are of good techs out there. There's nothing I wouldn't try. If you made all acoustic neck bolts on like Taylor do, you can just shim it. It'd be really easy to do. Just unbolt it, get the right shims in there. There you go. This end I'm just going to go this way. I don't normally like to go this way, I like to go with the green, but too difficult. So get rid of all the crap up off there. And what I'll do now is, there's hardly any muck come off here at all, so it's been in fine fettle. We're just going to repolish these frets again. Just go over. I will use a fret guard or a fingerboard guard like so. And just give them another little going over. Like so. And when I've cleaned this with the cloth, it's going to look beautiful. Now, like I said, there's quite a bit of pitting and wear on these frets down this end, but I'm sure it'll be alright for a while. I could put some new frets down this end. I might actually do that. If Cookie's going to keep the guitar for a few more years, I can't see why I'd upgrade it if it's playing alright for him. He's been using it for years without complaints. So it's good enough for him. We could replace from here down 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8. We could do about 9 frets. I charge him about 75 quid for that. Makes rates. And there you go. That's as much as I need to do on the frets and the fingerboard. Put the tools away as I go. I would like to see lighter strings on this. I would go with a DR Dragon Skin set of 1048s, super light gauge. It's going to be a lot less pull on the headstock because those strings on that gauge, you're pulling about 80 kilos. You've got 80 kilo pull, it's no wonder the neck is bent up this way. With an 80 kilogram pull on there. You know, it's just the nature of what it is. If your guitar's going to be stored for a long time, loosen the strings, guys. Otherwise it's just pulling up. This neck has been pulled up toward the bridge. The rate of your strings are putting about 80 kilograms of pressure on it. It's going to bend over the years. There's not a lot of truss rod adjustment left on this. You can save yourself a lot of headaches down the line by loosening your strings a little. don't think I have any light strings. Here, there you go, that's off a fingerboard, look. That's after I've cleaned it. That's lucky guitars get. That's all the grime off your fingers. But look at that neck now. Look at the fingerboard and the frets, they look fantastic. Also, I put some oil on this end, didn't I, just to clean. We'll use it as a cleaner. I'm also going to tidy up and tighten up these machine heads, or the tuners. So let's have a look where we are. Should have we have got a posi hole on there. So we're just going to see how loose they are. That's very loose. Look, you're supposed to tighten these up, you know, guys. There you go, that's better. It's about falling off. I'd imagine these are Grovers, they look like Grovers. So you give them a tighten. That's better. Look how loose these are, they're falling off. You can't even see what I'm doing, can you? Let me show you what I'm doing. Tightening these, they're falling off. You do tighten them, you know. Screwdriver, posi drive, get that in there. That one's the only one that's been okay, and this is loose. Give them tighten these screws up at the end there, that's good. Right, flip her over. Check these gubbins here, check these screws. They're not Grovers, but they are like Grovers. Tighten these up. I'll add a little nip on there, just make it tune in better. Or hold tune better, should I say. Nicely made guitars, these Takamines. But there are things you can do to maintain them and help them last longer. And one of them is loosen your strings and use a lighter gauge string. I've only ever had 1048s on my Paul Tune custom I built, which I'll be digging out later because I've got to set it up for church tomorrow. I've not played at church for 2 years. Anyway, there we go. That's looking fantastic. Just one more thing. Need to grab a small spanner, 10mm, just to tighten up, give these a little nip, make sure these are okay. Just a little nip. And that's all pretty good, didn't really need anything major, just a little nip, and that's it, they're done. So that's everything done that end. Nut slots are going to need cutting, they are not deep enough. It's the only way I'm going to be able to lower the action any, because I can't remove any more from the saddle. Look at the saddle, it's right down on the bridge. I'd normally like to take a mill off the bottom of that, but I can't because the strings are going to be resting straight on the top of the bridge then. Now I must make sure that these, when these are inserted, we've got them inserted right. Because I'm not sure we were all the way in, we were all the way in last time. So we'll turn the camera for a bit, I'll come back when I've got strings on. So I've restrung the guitar. Action is a little bit lower because I've got the neck straighter. It's looking really nice, frets are nicely polished, fingerboard's cleaned up. Forgot to put the strap back on under the strings, so he'll have to sort that out himself. And I'm just going to check the nut slots and recut the nut slots I'm fancying, because those nut slots are way too high for my liking. Bear with me guys, just put these tools away, didn't put them away earlier. And I'm in a bit of a rush tonight because I've got band practice. Anyway, let's go with, I do believe we are a 54-12 set on the strings, so I'm going to get as close to those as I can. So I would be going with for a 12 we'll go with a 13. So I'm going to need a 13, I'm going to need a 16. I'll have a 16 in here. Here's a 16. So the next one would be for a 54, 44, 34, 24. We'll go with a 24. I've got a 24. Here's a 24. And I'm just going to go up in tens. For a 34 I'll use a 36. For a 44 I'll use a 46. And for a 54 I'll use a 56. There you go. And we'll have a look, see where we are. .5mm truss rod adjuster on these Takamines. Didn't know that, or didn't remember that from before, so yeah, a bit surprising there. So let's have a look, see where we are on these strings. Now then, we're going 0.3 on the bass side, 0.2 on the treble side. We are, I bet we've got over a millimetre action there, crikey me. We can significantly change the way this guitar plays by cutting these nut slots. That nut is mental high. That's a 0.7, easy. So let's see if we're 0.7, we're 0.8, 0.7, let's measure it with 0.7 mil. That is stupidly high above that first fret. Wow, very, very high. So it's about 0.65 there. Going to bring it down significantly to 0.3. Could go 0.3 all the way across, it'll make it play a lot better. But I'm going to slowly, gradually gradiate it down a little bit. So let me have a good look, see where we are. I'm going to leave it plugged into the tuner. We're just a nadger shy of E standard there. So these are, wow. Yeah, very, very high. So that's okay, we're just going to go in. This is a 56.056, can you see that there? And I'm just going to keep cutting and dropping the string inside. And this is going to significantly lower the action at this end. It's going to also lower the action in the middle as well. So the guitar will be a lot easier to play with the strings lower at this end. And I'd imagine that this is where Cookie plays most of his stuff, down the bottom end of the guitar. And I don't mean anything by that, it's just, this is mainly chord work. So just keep cutting, cut measure, cut measure, cut measure. Go too deep, you'll be replacing the nut. I like to just slightly angle back on the final few strokes. So fair way to go, yeah. This is great fun. It's not great fun when you go too deep, I'll tell you that. Now we're getting there. Still a little more, so you can see how much further we're having to cut into this nut. These files made by Hosco, they're brilliant. They cut a perfect U shape or a perfect semicircular shape. They were expensive. I got the 11 set. I think they're about £125 for the set. I've had them 3 or 4 years, so they've paid for themselves. We're definitely low enough there, I can tell. That's got, I bet we're down to about 0.25, which is actually fine. We could get it out to 0.2 if we wanted to. So let's go with 0.25 for the next 2 strings. And we're not hitting the 0.25, so that's good. So the A string, it is as high as a kite. Wow. We are getting on for a mil, that is. We're going to drop that significantly. So I'm going to get my next file along. Now what I need to do is every time I use a file, you need to clean them after you've used them. clean it, put it away. I've got to leave here at about 6:15 because we've got band practice, so I might want to get this done. Here's what it is. So I'm using a 46 for this one. Again, significantly cut into this groove. So let's see where we are. Oh, fair way to go here. Another third of the mil to go on that one. This will play so much easier for having this done. For me. So I'm going to move on to the D string because it's just about buzzing. I'd like it to be about 0.26, 0.27, which it is. So give this one a clean. Move on to the next string and the next file, and you can get how it works right till we get up to the 12, which I'll be using a 13. So on this one I'll be using a 36 because I don't have a 34. I bet it's a 32 anyway, but a 36 will be absolutely fine. Again, you need to really cut into this one. But already these strings are a lot closer to the frets. I think it's going to, you're going to play this a lot easier. That feels pretty good. I can already see that's pretty much low enough by the looks of it. Let's have a look. Perfect, because we like it to be about 0.2-ish or just over 0.2. So I'm going to drop to a 0.2 gauge for the other three strings, and I'm going to get them all around to about 0.22, 0.21, 0.2, those sort of areas. Just gradiate down ever so slightly. Just see we are on a 0.2 on this one. That's actually under 0. That's under 0.2. It's giving me a false reading from that end. Fine this. Let's look at this one. So moving on to the next one. Again, that's not too far off the mark. Just gonna clean up the file. So I'll do the rest off camera, but we're gonna get them nice and low. I can tell straight away these are gonna finger really nicely, these ones. One of my own compositions. That's something I just noodled about years ago. Beautiful. So I'm going to get these done off camera, and once it's done, I'll bring you back in and we'll tie this video up. How's that for you? The guitar is done. I've got the action as low as I can get it, and I'm not going to give it, well, I will take a measurement, but it's going to be about 3.5mm at the 12th fret. I've actually got it down to 3mm at the 12th fret, which, considering it was nearly just over 4mm, I've done well. I've got it down a mil, and we're about 2.25 on the treble side. That's really good considering, because I couldn't remove anything from a saddle because it's as low down as it will go. The neck does lean in. It is bending down, so there's a bit of sunken belly on this guitar anyway, but I'm just about to get it tuned in proper. I've cut the nut slots as low as I can dare. That looks pretty good. So it sounds pretty nice, and yeah, I've got the action nice. It's lovely to play down this end now because I've got it nice and low above the first fret, cut right into the nut there, got the action as low as I could, and up to about the 12th fret. It is really nice and low, but it does dip down here. The fingerboard at this end dips down into the body, so there's a little bit of sinking in the belly. We don't call it a belly bulge, it's just sinking in. It does do that sometimes, but yeah. All said and done, pretty well, plays pretty well, sounds good. To get the guitar done before rehearsal tonight, and I'm not using this, obviously I'll be using his bass, but there you go. Beautiful looking thing, and I've got the action down to, believe it or not, I've actually got it down to 3mm at the 12th fret, which, considering it was over 4mm, is quite remarkable, considering all I could do was tweak the truss rod and cut the nut slots. I've got beautifully low at the nut end just here. Don't know if you can see how low it is there, but it's beautiful. Going nice and low above the first fret. It's got a nice low action up to about coming up to the 12th fret. Then unfortunately we get a little bit of the fingerboard is diving in toward the sound hole. It's leaning in a bit, and it does happen sometimes, especially when you've used a heavy gauge of string, as has been the case in this one. I've told him to probably use a lighter gauge of string, where he says, look, he's got loads of these strings water, he's just going to carry on using it, and he'll use the guitar till it's no good to use anymore. So I'm sure it's going to be okay for a few more years. But that is it with this one. It sounds beautiful, it sounds really, really nice. But yeah, looks great as well now. The only strings I could put on there was an old set he had in his bag. I didn't know he'd not got any spare strings with it, so didn't really want to wait for a new set drive. He says he's got loads at home. So that's it, so it's all done. So I just need to remind him our website before I go. It's facebook.com/ng17. That's facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. I am Victor, I am your fret friend. Until next time, as always, God bless you, be good to each other, and I'll see you in the next one.